Starting this look with a Milk Makeup Primer, and then move on over to the Chanel Gel Under Eye U Gel Primer. I like to use this because it really hydrates my under eyes before I put on the concealer. I always like to put lip oil or balm on my lips before I start my makeup or when I'm starting it, just to keep it hydrated for lipstick prep. I'm really loving the new NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I use the color Vanuatu. And I'm really just surprised of how much I'm loving this really affordable foundation. It's my perfect match, not too deep, not too light. The foundation has a liquidy consistency, and you can build it to about a medium plus base. It's a really beautiful foundation. I really love it. I can't stop using it, and it just has this wonderful illuminating effect that lasts throughout the day. And my skin actually looks still intact with this foundation after a very long day. So I am really loving this foundation. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite foundations so far this year. And then I'm moving on to the formerly Becca Cosmetics Under Eye Concealer in medium to deep. I do believe this got sold to Smashbox, so this product is still being sold, and it's just the perfect peachy color to cancel out the darkness under my eyes. I've tried other products, but they've been too dry. This is emollient enough for my aging skin. So you can see how it cancels out any darkness. Grabbing a Sonia G brush and then using the Shade and Illuminate Tom Ford Concealer in 3W1. Beautiful packaging. I'm not the huge fan of this product. I think it's a perfect match for my skin tone. I tend to like concealers that are a little bit more brightening. What I found with this concealer was that it's really fussy, that if you put too much or too little, it doesn't work very well. If you put too much powder, it starts to cake. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm using it up. I'm using now my Becca Cosmetics Under Eye Light Brightening Powder. I love this brightening powder. It's up there with the Pat McGrath Under Eye Powder. And it's just, you can see it just brightens up my under eye. So I use that on top of the Tom Ford because I don't find that color I got was brightening enough. And you just need a little bit of an application. Then going into my Hourglass Eye Primer for eyeshadow. This has been lasting me quite a long time. I tend to like using my fingers just because my fingers are already clean, and I tend to get into more of the ridges and lines on my upper lid with that product versus a brush. Then going into Sisley loose powder, and I'm trying to keep my eyes closed. If I start to blink, the Hourglass primer, any primer, starts to crease, and it creates a ridge that ruins the rest of any eyeshadow makeup that I apply. So just closing my eyes and then quickly setting it with loose powder, and then checking to make sure it's matte and not sticky. This is the Tom Ford Eyebrow Gel in Espresso. I believe they may have discontinued this, and they may be reformulating it. I like to clean my eyelash curler before using it, and I have these handy dandy alcohol wipes nearby in my station, and I like to curl my eyelashes before I do my eyeshadow makeup because it just opens up my eyes and helps me visualize what I'm going to put down for my makeup. And then I'll be using the Pat McGrath Golden Opulence 6-pan palette for Lunar New Year. I love this packaging, and I also grabbed the Dior and SUQQU palettes. All the information will be in the description box below. I actually love this palette. I know some people don't like it. For me and my skin tone, I think these are the perfect pinky, neutral-ish colors. This is the SUQQU Quad in Amaoto. I'm not sure if it's still for sale. And here's the Dior Early Bird Quint. So I'm just laying down some base color since it's Lunar New Year. I'm going for that gold in that 6-pan palette. And I'm not sure why some people don't like this palette, but for me and my undertone and skin tone, you can just see how that gold lays down really nicely. And it almost has like a orangey warm brown undertone with that one color. And that brown that I'm using is the perfect tone for me for really a crease shade. And most of the brushes I'm using are either Rephr or Sonia G. This one is from the Lotus series, and I'm really loving this red from the Early Bird collection. And so with the red and gold is very traditional colors for Lunar New Year. And then I'm grabbing the purple from the SUQQU Amaoto quad. Purples are sometimes really hard to do, and they tend to skip if they're matte. And SUQQU has one of my favorite formulas out on the market now. They're hard to get if you're in the United States, so I end up buying them through Selfridges. But for me, they're well worth getting abroad. So going back into that Pat McGrath Golden Opulence palette, I love that kind of rose gold color. And the way I usually use that palette when not doing a Lunar New Year look, I actually grab that and put that over all the lid. So I just love that palette. And then going into that shimmery color in Early Bird for inner corner highlight, it just really pops. And Dior is really great for shimmer shades and very easy to use, beginner friendly, and easy on the aging eyes. And I pointed to the lightest shade in that Golden Opulence palette, and I will be using as a highlight in the brow bone using a Wayne Goss brush. I want a little more impact, so I'm going with my finger into that gold in the Golden Opulence, just to go over there to make sure there's some kick in that gold. And then going back into that Amaoto topper glitter shade, and it's not really glitter particles, it's just like a overlay, and I just wanted to put that on top to lighten up that gold, and I'm pretty happy with this look. Here I'm playing with different eyeliner colors. I already put down Tom Ford eyeliner, and then using, I think at the bottom, the Victoria Beckham Bordeaux because it has a deep red color. And then I actually took the red in that Dior Quint and wet it to create a liquid eyeliner on top, highlight on top of the black liner. You can see there. And it's an easy way to add some more editorial looks and a oomph to your looks. And then going back with that Dior Quint color to add more emphasis of red. Going into my trusty Sisley loose powder and Mate 2. I do find that it's probably a good idea, at least for my skin, to pat down with loose powder. I'm loving this Kevyn Aucoin contour. I like to pinch the ferrule of the Sonia G foundation brush to get more of a cut contour, as you can see. And then I just go in and buff it out. And that's if I want a really chiseled contour look. And it's a really fast way to get more of a chiseled look is to pinch a ferrule on a brush that you have. And so far, this is my favorite contour powder that I've found. It's in the color Deep, because a lot of contour colors end up being too orange or too light for me. But if you're looking for a contour powder, I'd recommend Kevyn Aucoin. And a little bit goes a long way, as you're seeing. And then grabbing the Pat McGrath Divine blush, and I believe that is in Venus Fleurs, but I'll put the information below. Or Fleur Fantasia, but I'll check and put that information below. And then going into my Sisley bronzer using the Face Pro by Sonia G. And that's a gel bronzer as well. And I find this brush to be a little bit too big for my face, so I also pinch the ferrule in order to get a more exact application of the bronzer. This is a great all-over bronzer to warm up one's face. I tend to like things to be a bit more targeted, but you can see that I'm kind of being liberal with that all over. Using my Fenty highlighter brush, I actually do love that brush. It's specifically made for highlighter to really hug that area there, using the Lunar Nude Pat McGrath highlighter. And then going into my MAC Giga Black tubing mascara for the bottom lashes. That's my favorite one to use since I have small eyelashes at the bottom and it's a small brush, so it's very precise. And then going into probably one of my favorite volumizing mascaras is the Pat McGrath Dark Star Mascara. And I do not experience any fallout or flaking with that, and I have very oily skin. It's my favorite volumizing that's taken over my Chanel mascara, Volume de Chanel. So I'm testing out different reds to see which would be the best red with this makeup look. And I have a lot of reds, so I'm just swatching to see if the first one was Chanel Embelmatique, and it was part of the 2021 winter collection or the anniversary collection for Chanel No. 5. It's a beautiful red. It's like the perfect blue red, not too matte. So I'm putting that on just to see how that's going to look with this look for Lunar New Year. And then lining my lips with Lisa Eldridge Red Ribbon. And Chanel does red lipsticks beautifully, as you can see. And so what I'm doing is patting down like a finishing powder, blurring powder with the Chantecaille Hummingbird blurring powder with my BK beauty brush. And that is the final look. Thanks for watching with me and hanging out with my Get Ready with me for Lunar New Year.